Mm. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Hey, VS Squad. Kevin. Hey, Timo. How you doing? Okay. We're coming around the home stretch. Okay. We're almost there. Hey, Dan. How you doing? Alrighty. Let's break this thing down, and I think it's going to be a boring open, and I hope it's a boring day. Tomorrow's a holiday. Things will hopefully start to slow down. The business is as follows. We did a look above and fail of 54.65. And right now, we are actually right in the middle of this range, where the top is 54.65, the bottom is 48, and so we're just kind of hanging out. It's like we're waiting for the quarterback to throw the ball. You know? So let's see what happens. Now, we're going to open inside yesterday's range and inside yesterday's cost basis. So that means business as usual. The target lower is 51.48. And then these levels you would use to see if we can get lower. Right now, we can't get out of yesterday's range. Now, Dan's asking me, does option expiry matter to your bias? Well, because I don't understand anything about the mechanics of options expiry, right? I mean, I get the basic concepts of it, but I don't know how to use that information to trade other than to keep my head on a swivel, right? I wish I could tell you, yeah, because the dealers are, you know, gamma globulin positive and blah, 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 and, we should short this level based on that, put our stop. I don't have that information, right? So I'll just stick to my very, very blue collar method of trading. So all of this gamma and options expiration stuff, I don't understand it. That doesn't mean I don't respect it. Now, when these options expiry things happen, right? I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that I should not fall asleep at the wheel. You know what I mean? So on these options expiry, as my offensive line coach used to say, you got to keep your head on that swivel, right? Because there could be a blitzing linebacker coming from the left side and you got to pick him up, right? You just can't sit there and throw a lookout block, right? So that just means be alert, okay? So we're going to have an inside day. It's going to be choppy. It's business as usual as yesterday. Now check this out. No big change until we break the higher low of yesterday. If you look at this thing, there are these single prints where there was a chunk of supply. And the market has been trading in that area most of the Globex session. kind of filling it out, so to speak. Now, I can't, I don't want to sound like an idiot, but there is something that people do. Profile traders will take this profile and stick it in that profile, and they'll look at it, and I don't really know what kind of information you can get from looking at that. It is a cool thing with Market Profile, but I think we're just going to bop around. Maybe these options guys, maybe the options market makers create some sort of a move because they have to. Let's be on the lookout for that. And I just got the tool, right? It's like having, like one of those, like a snap-on torque wrench. Remember snap-on tools? They made really nice tools. Any gearheads in here? Right? Anyway, so I got just the tool. Hold on. Hey, Zezu, what's going on? So we're going to open in that supply area. Let's see, there we go. They're my gearheads, right? We're going to open it. I think we're just going to go back and forth in this red zone. The torque wrench I'm going to use is this 1 minute chart. Big surprise, right? This 1 minute chart really is like a set of vice grips. It's a bunch of tools in one. You can tell where the inventory is. You can tell where VWAP is, whether we were selling above VWAP all session, then we put it on sale, then we brought in some buyers, right? So if VWAP's around here somewhere, right? We were above VWAP all session. Distribution, cashing up. We took those stale hot dogs and we sold them all night, right? Then the sun starts coming up and the club goers start going home. We have to put the donuts on sale to get rid of them. We brought some buying in on these news spikes, right? Now, overnight inventory is long. It is very long. It is what, 95% long? You know what, Joe? I've never been in a place long enough to get one of those rolling tool sheds with all the nice tools. I've always wanted to do that. I've just been moving around too much. We consider them filled if we open above them. Remember, Sizu, they're supply not fingerprints, single prints. I think I've been watching too much Dexter. Supply single prints, right? Yeah, I need a Snap-on truck, portable. So we'll see. If we open where we open now, they're still valid. They're still valid. There's still a seller out there, Zazu. And you want to know who the seller is? The seller are the people who are long under 5,300 or 5,308, I'd say. 5,312 to 5,308. Right? This 1 minute candle thing, and I never was a candle trader until I started zoning into the candle charts. Now, how I learned all about these candle charts, I have to credit Canada. Because I was looking after my mom for 5 years, and I was in a place called Saskatchewan, where it's minus 50 for 8 months out of the year. And even when it's nice outside, there's really not a lot to do. So I spent 18 hours a day looking at these charts. The top 3 tips for reading candles. That's a good question. Maybe you can help me develop one. One is seeing where the inventory is compared to the price. So price is here. Look this way and see all of the trading is above where the current price is. So now you know you have resistance. That's number 1. Number 2, if we do catch a bid, where are the sellers, right? Here, the sellers are constantly moving lower, right? They were here, And then they just kept dropping lower, right? They stood here for 30 at 36, and then they started competing. 30, 27 at three quarter. Now they're selling at 24. So they're putting it on sale, but where are they coming back to? They're going to come back to the cost basis, right? They're taking all the stops. The next stop is 12, which is just here under the middle. Now we're in the middle of the 4-time discount zone. Okay? More dogs than people in Saskatchewan? No, probably buffalo, not dogs. Right now, good question, Sean. For right now, I'm like, you go long first and tell me how it goes. That's what I'm thinking right now. I'm thinking, who can I get to go long and see where they get stopped out? Right? That's the Vancouver in me. Right? After a sell-off, when a market sells off, right? Where's my lab rat? Right? Who can I sucker into going long here just to see if they get stopped out or if the trade works? Okay? Because I don't know where the selling is going to stop. Because the cost basis is down here at 6, and we're trading at 22. So, I don't know yet. I think it's very odd that it came to the bottom of those single prints almost to the tick. I'm off by a tick. I find that very weird. I don't have an explanation for it. Right? 16 and a quarter? Well, good. Good stuff, Jerry. You go first. Right? I would prefer to go long if we get back over 31, but my perfect long would be this, right? If we did this, if we looked under 53.03 and came back up, then I could go long 53.05, 6, put my stop here, sell into the 10s, and maybe if the goddess of order flow is good enough to me, hit some out at 15, 16, done for the day. That would be my perfect trade. Here, I'll let you guys fight it out. Does that make sense, Sean? I don't want to be first after a sell-off. I do not want to be the guy who catches the bottom. Right? I always want somebody else to take the risk. And I can sit and watch. Now, I know that's not a courageous thing, but that's how you save capital. Right? And if it works out for them, even all the better. I don't know what to expect. And because you guys have been talking about options expiration, right? The little hairs on the back of my neck are kind of like, don't overtrade today. We got a 3-day weekend coming up, which I kept forgetting about. And now I'm very happy that we have. Because honestly, this market over the last 2 weeks has given me some gray hair and probably caused some to fall out. And I'm not really even at risk. Oh, the chart thing's working again in the room. Good, good, good. So let's see what happens. There you go, Joe. Right? Glad you don't have here. Nothing to lose. There's this one young trader from England, and it's hilarious because, when he started, he was like, he looked like a boy band singer, like a pretty boy. Like after I think 10 years in the industry, he looks like an old man. It's crazy. We age in dog years. What's with this big, I'm getting a little tired of these big candles. They really need to beef up this order book. This is getting ridiculous. Yeah, that was a short cover for sure. But they need to start putting some meat on the bone in this market. This is nuts, right? It's just way too thin. Or what they need to do is put a timer on these guys' orders so they can't put 6,000 trades in a 10-second span, right? Because you drop a decent size order in this market. Look at that, 53.20 to 32 in one candle. Like, come on, right? And yesterday we had a 50-point candle in 1 minute. What was the point of that? Nothing on the offer, nothing to hold the market down, and it just rips. Everybody pulls their offer, and the thing was crazy, right? I'm like, it's like the market is being run by the Three Stooges, you know? Yeah, this is not price stability is the hallmark. I'm gonna sound like these white shoe guys, Joe. Hang on a second. Get here. Let me see if I can put a sentence together. Right? Market stability is the hallmark of investor confidence. I could write sales brochures for Vanguard, right? But it's true. You need some price stability. Otherwise, people are going to go, I'm not jumping in that. That's like bungee jumping trades, right? Exactly, Jerry. They need to clamp it down a little bit. Let's see where we open. So we're going to open inside yesterday's range in value. Your upper stops are going to be 54, 30, 34 and 3/4, right? And Steve is telling people that it's my priority to answer questions from the room, which means the room needs to ask some questions. Okay. Lower stops are all the way down. Look at the range between the stops. Look at that range. The upper stop is there. The lower stop is down here. That's big. And we're going to open underneath 53.42.5, which is a big level. So very first thing we're going to do in a market, we know inventory is above us, right? Inventory is above us, and inventory is long. It's above us and it's long, right? Inventory is long because all of the trading is above the close of business of the previous day. So we're still looking for a low, right? Which makes me a little short biased right now. But if the market finds the bid, then I must trade against my bias. No reason being biased and losing money, right? Another thing I must harp about is please use stops. Okay? I want you to think of stops in a certain way. People in the room, listen to this. Right? No business plan is perfect. What if you could have insurance on the execution of your business strategy? What if you could adjust the premium depending on market conditions that you pay and your level of not risk tolerance. Risk tolerance. Some people are very risk tolerant. They have very high risk tolerance, but they don't have the money to back it up. So what is the level of your risk capability? Does that make more sense? You know how people say, oh, your risk tolerance? Well, what if you have $2 in your pocket, but you're willing to risk 50 grand. That's not really going to help you, is it? Food for thought. What is your risk capability? Like, can you actually afford to take that kind of risk? Right? And I think that's where a lot of traders get into. They're like, "Oh, I'll take the risk." Well, you don't have the dough, right? You don't have the dough to be taking that kind of risk. Sorry, I mean, not to be rude, but I don't have the dough. And even if I had the dough, I wouldn't be taking that kind of risk, right? Yeah, everybody has high risk tolerance until you get poked in the eye with a six-figure loss. Exactly, Joe. Nailed it. So I think it should be risk capability, right? What's your risk tolerance? It's high. How much dough you got? Well, okay. Discussion over. It's only risky if you're wrong. Beautiful, Aubrey. And from the person who Aubrey actually works, he's a plant from Citadel, the market making firm. They've stuck him in my room because every time you try and say something half-ass common sense, he always puts in the counter argument. Yeah, just risk it all, risk it all. Go ahead. You know, it's only risky if you're wrong, right? I want my cut. Okay? I love you too, but I want my cut. uh, hey, listen, it's been a crazy last 2 weeks. You got to have a bit of a laugh. You know, ooh, point of control moved down. Overnight POC was up here for quite a while. Now it's down here at 34 and change. Now let's see. Obviously, we caught some bids. So even though I am short biased, I'm seeing, what am I seeing? I'm seeing, sorry, I'm being rude. I'm seeing suckers come in on the pre-open, right? It's the hot club, right? This is like night at the Roxbury, right? They're all standing in line trying to get in, bribing the bouncer to get past VWAP. Let's see. So my short bias before, volume. Volume moved it down, Mark. Think of the point of control. When it moves down, it's like we're vacuuming up contracts from above, right? Think of contracts as falling leaves. When the point of control is up, you know, it was up at 53.40 or something like that, and then it came down to 34, right? Hey, and there's nothing wrong with bribing bouncers. I was a bouncer for 4 years, right? We call them tips. Anyway, what's up, AZS? Yeah, it's a thin order book, right? So be on your toes. Be on your toes. Only take the trades that make good financial sense and put insurance on that trade, right? You have the capability to insure a business transaction. That's a pretty good business, right? Not a lot of businesses allow you to insure your business transaction. Think about it. Want to change the way people think about getting stopped out and stops. It's going to be choppy back and forth. Okay, so we know we got sellers right around VWAP. We're going to open in 4 minutes. Hmm. It's 53.36, Tim. It's the purple line on my chart. Yeah, your stop is to take you out of your trade if you're wrong. It's like an insurance policy on your account. It also gives you information. You know, sometimes you put in a buy order and you put in a stop and they both get filled instantly, like kapow. Okay, you know there's an aggressive seller, right? Use it, get information from it. All right, so we're going to open in range, in value. No need to get all hyperactive. Hey, Jen, thank you. So S pill, if you're short at 37, right? Make sure you pay yourself, brother, right? Put your stop at 31 instead of break even, because it could come all the way right back on you, right? Maybe for one of the contracts, that'll give you, oh, just one micro. Yeah, so if you were trading a few, you can, put your stop there. I'm not a break even stop guy, right? Because very quickly in this market, you know if the trade's going to work. Put your sell orders or your buy orders in so it hits you on the way down. It's less work. Yeah, exactly, Lear. See, look at that bid. See how we came down to that little cost basis and all of a sudden, boom, zip. That's what I don't like in this market. All of a sudden, the supply just shuts off and the offer moves so quick, right? And that's why, because we've got these big, stupid candles. I'm not using trailing stops. I'm saying put your sell orders out, right? Now, Aubrey, you've been trading for a while, but I think it's very, very unrealistic for a new trader to look for a 50-point trade when they first start trading. I think they should get used to taking profits because I see too many people overdo it. If with your level of skill, it's a different story, right? You're not a new trader, right? You've been profitable for a while, right? But it's completely unrealistic for a new trader to be looking for 50-point trades in this market. It's like somebody who's never driven a car getting into an F1 car and thinking that they can, be the F1 champ. It ain't going to happen. You got to be realistic, right? Now, Aubrey's been in the room probably since the beginning, and he's like an 18-hour a day trader. The guy's always in front of the screen, so he's put in thousands of hours of work. That's a different story. As we say, he's a different breed of cat. I know we have 50.1 minute candles. Hey, you can always get lucky, right? So we're off. Let's see what happens when we go tickle VWAP up in that 36 area. I'm looking to see where the sellers step in, what kind of buyers come in. Let's watch and see what develops. There's a seller at 31 and a half, but I'm going to need more than one candle. Do I watch volume? No, I don't. I watch transactions. If I'm a wholesaler, I watch volume. If I'm a retail trader, there's no need for me to watch volume. You know what I find that helps manage my emotions? Is having a very good understanding of what the hell's going on. And also being, um, having practiced my execution a lot. Because when I first started, I hesitated a lot. And I had to work my way out of it with execution. And there was no amount of psychology that would help me until I learned my setup. A wholesaler is a liquidity provider. But there are wholesalers who do not have exchange agreements. They act as wholesalers, big size traders. Right? So yeah, SPIL, a wholesaler is like a designated market maker. A liquidity provider is a designated market maker. But some wholesalers don't have an agreement with the exchange. They just kind of hang around. In the old days, they called them locals on the floor. If anybody's old enough to know somebody who's been on a floor, they used to have what they call locals. And we have that in the electronic market. There are partnerships of people who trade quite a lot of money and are very sophisticated. And they act as wholesalers. So we stop selling when we come down here. Let's see if that holds. So we're 3-4 minutes in. There we go. See, I've been short biased, but haven't been able to put my finger on where to hit it. And I'm late. So let's see if we could take those lower stops, which are here at 12. Right? Remember we mentioned those stops at 12? Notice we went to 12 to the tick, stopped, reversed. Now let's see if they sell into it. They should sell into this. And if we get underneath 12, then we'll look for yesterday's point of control, which is around 53.06. That's where yesterday's cost basis is. Right? So we went 3 ticks under that stop. The buyers came in. Lower prices attracted buyers. Right? Interesting. Now let's see where they sell into this. Right? And when is okay, just relax. We've only been open 5 minutes, right? There's a seller there because of the top of that candle, right? I'm just trying to find the market's opening. I want to see what kind of people come in. That's what I'm trying to do. Nice trade, SPIL. Beautifully done. Now, the target, according to this, is 53.03 and a half. So if you're short anywhere under 31, use the tops of these candles to tell you whether the seller is still with us and competing and pushing prices down, sellers, or have those sellers found some buying because they haven't yet. They're still putting it on sale. Yep. Yesterday's VPOC is at 6. So 5306, is where the majority of the cost basis of yesterday is. Of course, you always need to sell, Tim. So if I own it at 6, I can still sell it at 17, right? And make money? If I have some inventory at 6, I can sell it at 17. I can sell it at 31. I can sell it all the way down to 7 and still be in profit. Right? Pretty cool. Okay, folks, what's going on in the room? What are you guys up to? Just be patient, right? By being patient, you're actually being smart. You're trying to find a nice rotation to participate in, right? Yeah, so if sellers see buyers, they raise price. If sellers see buyers walking out of the store, they chase them lower, right? So here, 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 right? The next candle is, we have a whole minute, so let's see where, see, that's price competition. This is chop, right? And we knew that this was going to be the type of business that was going to take place because we're opening inside yesterday's range and inside yesterday's value area or cost basis. So we are going to encounter chop because it's just regular normal business as usual. Right? And also because tomorrow is closed, right? A lot of the bigger players will have taken off. I knew when I was doing deals I would not be in front of the screen today. So there is a seller at 20. Sorry, 21. And let's see if they still stop selling in the 12s or are they forced to sell underneath. I'm talking about chop right now. What's going on in the room, folks? Do you use the New York Open VWAP? No, I don't, Jerry. What I do is I set the VWAP at the session open. Short 19 looking for 8, that is a good goal. I'd go bid 9 to see if I got one. But I always like the front run. Right? 4 points on the ES is $200. Not such a bad day. Not such a bad day. Depends. You know, walk away depending on your level of skill and how good are you at managing risk. Right? If you've been trading for a while, keep going. If you're a new trader, maybe have a coffee break. Right? This whole market is open 23 hours, you know? There you go. Well, congratulations. It's a beautiful thing. For our short sellers, you see how these offers, they just keep moving lower and lower. Let's see if we can take out 17 and a half. Do we have any buying? Well, there we go. right? So remember, if you're long, there's going to be a seller at 21. So overnight inventory long, this is normal correction, lower, right? Normal correction lower. Okay, right? If you got them, sell them. Next stop is 24. But I'll take 23 and 3/4. I'm flat. Now let's see. You can go to 31 without me. That's good, Travis. Any plans for the weekend? Calm is good, Zazu. Did you get a wire this week? Yeah, New York Open VWAP, nothing wrong with it. Nice. 3 weeks in a row, you've paid yourself, my man. Well done. Ah. See, every time a retail trader makes money, a market maker gets his wings. I'm glad. I'm really glad. Now, can we move from 27 to 31? There's supply at 31. It was there before. It'll be there again. Creeping. We're creeping. Come on. Let's see where they sell into it. Now, if it was me, I would front run 31 and a half like you wouldn't believe. I'd be hitting every bid here. There they are, right there. Just as I said it, right? Never be afraid to front run a level. Right? Nice work, Dave. Nice work. Beautifully done. How are things in the land down under? See, it's amazing how much information you can get from a 1 minute candle chart that'll actually help you trade, right? And there's no BS. If you knew that there was a seller at 31, 31 and a half, and you were long at 24, or even if you were long at 17, if you had really good trade location, you could sell before those sellers take your customer, right? And I think it's very important for traders when they're starting to get profitable. Now I'm preaching again, so don't be afraid to make $300, $400 a day. There's nothing there is nothing you should be ashamed of if you're making $300, $400, $500 a day. Other people will always come around and say that they're making 30, 40, 50 point trades. Not a lot of them are telling the truth. Okay? So just be aware of that, right? Just, yeah. It's like there's some amount of skill involved to make a 50-point trade, right? And to do it consistently, right? So just stay in your lane, keep your head down, keep working. You'll get there. You'll get there, right? Yeah, like Aubrey, he didn't start out pulling 40 points out of a hat, right? He did the work and he grinded his way up the ladder, right? So now he's got that experience and he's got that. And Aubrey, I think you'll agree, after doing so many trades and just working the discipline over and over again, you almost start to get like a spider sense of when something's not going to go right. And you can start cutting risk and like you get to understand the market really well. You know, so early or aim for like 3 to 5 points, not 10 points. I think 10 points is not reasonable. In this market, maybe, right? But then your risk has to be tight, right? Once again, what is your risk capability? Not your risk tolerance. Risk tolerance and risk capability are two different things, right? I could have, you give me a $20 million account, I'll still trade like a cheap bastard, right? That's just me, right? But you'll see a lot of people over trading their size, right? Yeah, I can tolerate a $50,000 loss, but I only got 2 grand in the account. Yeah. What is it like Cat Williams says? Those guys who are driving, what is that, that Dodge? I could see it, but they think it looks like a Phantom. He's like, it's not a Phantom. Oh. So we got some rotation now, folks. Got this rotation. What the hell's going on here? This Epic Pen, the font changes all the time. Let's see if that rotation holds. Yeah, that 12 is holding. They just stop selling when they get down there, right? The cost basis is down here at 6. So they just stop selling as soon as they get anywhere close to 6. Trying to find the top of that rotation. And we did, it's going to be choppy. It could be, maybe we have an inside day to the overnight session, which would really upset a lot of people, but I don't mind. I don't mind relaxing Fridays. Is anybody speaking today? Yeah, paying bills is good from the trading account. Makes it real, right, Steve? Right? When you actually take the money out of your account and pay a bill with it, it makes that money real. Because now we don't touch money. So it's just so easily. Like in the UK, they have these bucket shops where you can trade and you can wire your money from your bank account into your brokerage account instantly. So people get into a bad position and they just drain their brokerage account and then they drain their bank account. It's like, stop. Right? Yeah. Well, okay. Top of the box didn't work very well. Fed bar at 11:45. Okay. Trump is meeting the Italian PM. Oh, cybersecurity. Wow. Hmm. Whew. Bit slow here. Look above and fail of 31 and a half if you are on the short side. Right? If you're short 31, using 32 as a stop, looking to cover around 25, 26. If you can't offer under 27, govern yourselves accordingly. Like so. Ah! Swine short sellers came right in there at 28. It's good if you can clip those in and out. If you can hit that backfill quick, right? Hits VWAP, hits a seller, boom, underneath 31. Now let's see what we do. I do not know the answer to that question, my friend. I've never observed it, so I can't comment on it. Now, yeah, that's what's kind of cool about talking to other traders because they'll notice stuff you didn't even like you completely miss, you know? It's kind of cool. Like I never even thought about that. 31 to VWAP. I don't know. I don't trust this as a long yet. I think my short bias is clouding my judgment. And I'm saying it out loud. Yeah, I think my short bias is clouding my judgment. Because I should have been trying to buy 32 and sell 36. Hey, Terzi. I had an okay day so far. Whoa, jeez. Yeah, see, my short bias is wrong. Good to know. And I didn't lose any money finding out. I like when that happens. The best is to find out that you're wrong and you haven't lost any money. I like that feeling. Right? It really works with my cheapness factor. You know? It's the best, right? I was wrong, though. But it didn't cost me anything. Oh, great. Okay. Now I can, you know, give your head a shake. We did not get down to the close when we opened. 35.50. Now you're scaring me, Aubrey. You want to see a 2,000 point dip? Just scared everybody in the room. That's like when Vukovic would always write 1800. Whoops, typo, yeah. That's okay. I took my heart medication. Oh, we're still in A period, eh? We're still in A period. It's a long first half hour. It'll be nice to have a day off tomorrow. Four to one breath. Thanks, Lear. I think it's going to pull back. Maybe down to about 26, 27. Just right here. There should be some bids lurking around this area here. Oh, yeah, we didn't quite get down there, did we? It's a backfill. It brought in some buyers. Now, does it bring in enough buyers to warrant raising price over 32? This is the chop that I don't like to trade. I'll let other people play around in there. Because this is an area where I can easily go long, get stopped out, go short, get stopped out, go long. Sound familiar? I hate that. So I just like, I'll let it. Hey, Audi kid. Yeah, Texas. How is Texas? I miss doing deals with Texans. Always did great deals with Texans. You could do multi-million-dollar handshake deals. That was great. They just did what they always did what they said they were going to do. It was beautiful. Now let's see if we come back into this cost basis. There's some chop I like trading, but some chop I'm kind of done. Back and forth over that overnight POC. It's kind of slow in Walmart right now, Lear. I think we've got this big sort of a rotation here. If just bear with me. We've got sellers at 38, and I think that's our current rotation. It's a big back and forth range, and we're just washing it back and forth here. Let's see. Hmm. We're in a distribution zone above 26, just to VWAP, which is around still 36, right? VWAP. I'm starting to run out of steam. I need another coffee. I need some caffeine. I'm getting that 3 o'clock in the afternoon kind of like low energy. Let's see what happens when B opens up. I could use that a cup of Cuban coffee. That would be great. Oh, folks, if you want to check us out at Microefutures, we are going to be having look for our sale over the weekend. for new members. Okay. Got to plug the room a little bit. Want to keep fresh blood coming in the room. Come join us. And let's take back control. Right. I like to think of our room as like in the true sense of a Robin Hood. We steal from wholesale and give to retail. That's what we like to do. See this sideways motion over 24? It's actually brought people in. Now let's see if they keep selling into them at 38. Seems to be. Yeah. And if we get, here's the thing, Lear, right? If we get over 50, that means we chew through these single prints, right? Yeah, start next week. I'll be back on Monday. Now we like anything that empowers retail traders. We're in favor of. Oh, thanks, Leslie. Any better now? Is my audio choppy? Anyone else has got choppy audio? Could be this headset. It's lasted 2.5 years. I'm surprised. Oh, I stopped talking. Huh, that'll do it. Yeah. Remember Danny DeVito and Other People's Money? He's like, I steal from the rich and I give to the middle class. Right? And now we have another little balance here, right? You could see the distribution of this, right? Within this big zone, we're taking this stuff and we're selling it up here. And then when we put it on sale, when we come back down to this cost basis, we stop selling and boom, back up, right? And that creates the trades that we take. That creates our trades. It also tells us when not to trade. And the big thing about this for me is managing our risk. So say we have a zone here, and I'm looking for a long, for example. I will like to see the market come under 24 and then come back up. So I could go long 25, 26 and sell into the 31s and make 3 or 4 points. I like those kinds of trades because before long, you do a couple of 2, 3 point trades, and it's not easy. It takes time to perfect it, and you got to work at it just like anything else, right? If 40 gets sold, once the ducks are gone, only the overnight opening balance is support. Yeah, true. True, true, true. See, I have no idea what kind of business is going to come into the market today. So if I sound overcautious, it's because I kind of am. And ever since that 50-minute candle, it kind of put me off a little bit. And I found that I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll trade, but you're not going to get me to like stick around too long. I'm going to get in and out. And if I'm wrong fast. Looking for a seller at 36. Yeah, if then. Oh, that's something I haven't been talking about. Is something I learned from Steve, which really we incorporate into our trading. It's those if then statements. If this happens, then I do this. If that happens, then I do this. Oh, cool. You know, some of my bigger traders are just kind of coming back into the market now. They took some time off when they saw this volatility. They just didn't dive in. And I think the older you get, the more you're like, ee. But when you're young, you just dive into the risk. It's very interesting. And a lot of people just crave that volatility, and that's okay. So if you're going to trade in a volatile market, definitely do come and spend some time with us, because there are some tricks that I can teach you to help you limit the cuts. Because you are going to take a couple of, you're going to take a beating, right? All right. VIX still 31. So we broke out of that little balance zone, folks, and now we're coming back. You see the cost basis? We took this, we sold it up here, now we're back here. Now, if things get really bad, we'll take out the tens. Otherwise, we'll chop around here and then go do it again. Let's see who comes into the store now. That would be nice to try and take out the low of day, Aubrey. I always want to see what's lurking down here, right? I'd love to see that. Take out the overnight low. Let's test yesterday's low while we're around. I want to really see where the aggressive buying comes in. And it's not really because I'm short biased anymore, because I'm seeing bids. But it's just, I always like to know what's in the, it's like you're in the swimming pool. Is there an alligator in the deep end of the pool? Can't really see just yet. Constant seller at VWAP, right? If I was on the ball, I would have been thinking short, 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 short under 32. But obviously you can tell now, 20 minutes left in the session with us, and you can tell that I'm already getting mentally lazy, right? I've been up since 5 a.m. It's 3 p.m. now. So you got to know yourself, right? If you've been in front of the screens for a long time, take a break. It's good. Take a break, get some fresh air, do normal human being stuff, right? And you'll be surprised how much better you are when you come back. Especially if you're having if you're losing money, just get up. Get up and walk away. Go sit in the sun, do something. Lack of sleep can have the same effects exactly. You start getting a little punchy. See, look at that. Every time we get down to this cost basis, they just stop selling. So the middle is bid. Rotation back and forth, which is what we said was going to happen, right? So no big surprise. After I'm done with you guys, I got a meeting I'm looking forward to, and it's a beautiful sunny day in Liverpool. I'm going to Bristol this weekend. Anybody ever been to Bristol? Yes? No? Where are all my UK folks? I think they've gone. They've already gone for the weekend. See, look at that. Now let's look for the seller, folks. We should step in and start selling. Thanks, Jaden. And it's not just me. It's the people in the room. You know, that's the one thing. You know, people are like, "Well, you do these things. What's the difference being in the room?" Being in the room is you get to interact with the people, and we've got some really cool folks in here. And we have traders who are just learning, and then we have traders who make like 4 or 5 grand, 10 grand a day. So, and the nice thing is the traders who do well are always very helpful to the ones who are just learning. So it's a very sort of, it's not like, oh, I made 100 points and I'm driving a Lamborghini. It's not that kind of community. No, my girlfriend's working in Bristol with the hospital on the weekend. So, seller at vwap 32. Rotation back down, looking for 20. Okay. Yeah, break the day up, Aubrey? Yeah. You had a good morning. Yes, we will teach you how to trade on longer time periods. Not a problem. The most important thing, Kate, is that we teach you how to manage the trade. Now, you'll notice, and I should address this, it's a good thing question that you asked. I use a 1 minute chart to teach people how to think and manage risk quickly. And the skills that you get from scalping, you can use in longer term trading because your your sense of the mechanics of the business will be highly attuned if you learn how to scalp. You don't have to be a scalper, but there are skills like getting out of bad trades quickly that are very useful in longer time frame trades so you can manage your capital drawdowns, right? You got 10 points? Nice work, AZS. Way to go hunting. Have a good one. See, now I love how this guy trades. Makes his money, hits the beach. So the market's actually, it's acting pretty normal. You know, after Godzilla landing in Manhattan last week, you know, he seems to have gone back in the water. And it's been okay trading. They've lowered margins, so the brokerage firms are feeling comfortable again. Let's see what next week brings. What did they have for earnings yesterday? Who was reporting last night? Anybody big? When does when do all the cool kids start reporting? Let's see. Next week, Intel. I remember when Intel used to be a big deal. God, I'm old. What do we have next week? Chipotle, the world's most expensive burrito. Halliburton. Nothing really big, Boeing. Oh, Tesla. Tesla is next Tuesday after the close. Okay. You think overnight low, Teen? I'm waiting for the overnight low to get taken out. Now the question is, will the overnight low get taken out before I go get food? This waiting for the overnight low to get taken out, it's taking too long, right? So let me just, if you're looking at longer time frames, we'll break things up. Like say you like trading a 15-minute time frame. We can help you with that. Um, the concepts are still the same: to look below and fail, to look above and fail, right? Around a cost basis. So on a 15-minute chart, you can still, if you were shorting this candle probably would take you out. And if you hit it again down here, or even if you shorted when we came under 48 and 3/4, you could use the middle of the zone at 20 to cover. That is an 18-point trade, right? Now, of course, after the fact is always easier, but we'll help you put that trade together and put some risk management around it and help you manage your trade when you're in that trade, depending on what you want to accomplish, right? So we do have that available for traders who are trading longer time frames. Yeah, I was like, we need a sacrificial long, right, Elsie? Where's our sacrificial long? uh, oh, you gotta laugh at this business, otherwise you lose all your hair. Yeah, there's really not much next week. GE Aerospace, Lockheed Martin, the Ironmongers are next week. Halliburton, Boeing, Merck, and Agnico Eagle. Huh, I haven't watched that stock in ages. We should do a mining deal. You know what we really need? You know what deal would be? We haven't done a deal in a long time. A treasure hunter deal. You know those deals where you find like a Spanish ship that's sunk somewhere in the Caribbean and you roll it into a shell? People love those kind of stock plays. They go crazy for them. You could sell tons of stock. I haven't seen one in easy 10, 15 years. Yeah, a treasure hunter deal would be fun. Jazz. Cool. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, I'm too old to misbehave now. That's the thing. See how we just keep coming down here, and it's almost like it's just floating lower, and then it just stops, and then it bids, and then it floats lower, and then it stops, and then it bids. It's slow. It's like a slow drip. Well, folks, you guys have all gone. Why the slow trickle down? The sellers aren't that desperate to get out of their project. It's a good question, right? There's plenty of buyers. So they're just slowly reducing prices, finding buyers. Now they're going to step in at 16 to sell again. It's a slow day in the storage, eh? Think of it. If you had most of the larger traders aren't going to put a lot of risk on the day before a 3-day long weekend. And honestly, right, I think after the last 2 weeks, even the people who work at funds, they're like, they've been dealing with compliance, they've been dealing with clients calling them, freaking out, they're dealing with, trying to do all sorts of stuff. I think they're just like, oh man, can we just shut this down now? Do I watch the weekly market profile? No. What I do is I just use the daily and I draw my balance zones. Like I called the look above and fail of 54.65 down to the middle. And if that breaks, right, then the lower target will be 51.48. I think we're just going to go back and forth in this purple zone until the market finds some sort of stability. But hey, I could be wrong. He could go and change everything over the weekend. Let's hope he kind of chills out this weekend and you know easy on the tweeting. I've actually stopped reading the news because it just changes so much. So that's 2 times discount, 4 times discount. This will be 8 times discount. You know what I used to do is I used to look at those combined market profiles where you'd squish the whole week's profile into one profile. I haven't done that in a long time. The thing is, I really limit the amount of information to what I can actually use. Right? There's a lot of information out there, and I'm not discounting it, but I haven't found a way to use it to make money. Right? And that's the thing. And because my head, right, my brain is 57 years old, so it's not as fresh. So I need to limit the amount of information that I look at. That's a good question, Steve. Do you ever look at the cost basis and the lenses of anchored weave out from key dates? That would be cool. Leslie, you anchored a cost basis breakouts? I could see everybody buying more monitors. That's the only problem with anchored VWAP. Next thing you know, you got 20 charts going, and you're like, I need more monitors. We're going to Best Buy. Oh, well. This is slow, folks. Slow, slow move down. That's cool, Leslie. You're not allowed any more monitors, Elsie? You're starting to look like the drummer from Iron Maiden. Can't even see him. He's just surrounded by drums. There's a direct correlation between profitability and the number of monitors. That's funny. Yeah, there's a bit. It's just a slow. I'm gonna go for a walk. You folks have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Stay out of trouble. Or if you do get into some trouble, don't get caught. Can we get to the close? 52.99 half. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful long weekend. Get away from these screens. We'll see you on Monday. Come join us. Say hello. And remember, don't take candy from strange market makers, okay? Have a wonderful long weekend, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you on Monday. Bye for now.